then also it helps alleviate and balance out and distribute the wealth of the entirety of the industry.
Welcome to the Ben Taylor podcast. This is the home of marine industry insights. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Ben Taylor podcast, the home of marine industry insights. Today I'm doing a site visit at Superyacht Interiors. We're here in the UAE, we're in Dubai, and I love doing site visits because I often see kind of the shiny front at various different industry events, and it's so good to go behind the scenes and see
how it's all made.
Exactly, see the reality behind everything. And Robert's just giving me a tour around this extensive facility that's growing. It's super impressive and really interesting. So we're going to hear all about that today. So wonderful to see you, Robert.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So give us a little context first, so a bit of background on Superyacht Interiors.
Okay, so SYI, we've had a team that's been working together since before 2004. Though SYI was originally incorporated in April of 2021. And that was off the back of a diamond project where Roger, the founder, and my father and myself were called over to try and get a project back online. Now, when it came down to it, the projects, it wasn't looking too good with the contractor that they had already over here doing it. So we thought, okay, right, we can take that contract with the backing of the yard and the blessing of the yard. We can go through and we can set up our own facility just to finish this project. We managed to get the project delivered in 2022. Everything was perfect, everything was fine. And then we had a decision of, do we just close shop, say, all right, well done, shake everyone's hand and go home?
Yeah.
Or do we take the risk and do we try and make SYI something that it could really be?
And so what was the scope of that project? What was the area of delivery that you were responsible for?
So that was, for that project, it was all assets, the whole team, everyone on a full scope interior.
Okay.
For a 78 meter.
Wow. Okay.
So it was absolutely everything: the flooring, the walls, support with the stairs and the infrastructure that was there, all the finished panels, a lot of the loose furniture, a lot of the fixed furniture as well. Yeah. It was everything: every guest cabin, all the owners' areas.
It's pretty awesome. Proof of concept. Like if you could do that, it's a good. Yeah. You have a good idea of what you could do.
Well, the thing is, the vessel was nominated for Super Yacht of the Year, and I thought for our debut vessel, it's like
that will do. That will do just nicely. Yeah.
We did an all right job with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, ever since, so it's now kind of over 20 years on. How's everything grown, and what has it grown into today?
Well, after the debut project, after we launched our major debut project in 2022. We didn't have much of a pipeline for work because we'd dedicated...
Done the project, you're all operations, you're not selling for the next one, it's just get that done.
And because we had all of our assets to have this vessel delivered on time, we didn't have time to sit in all the different board meetings with the different yards to try and find something.
Yeah. And these things take time. Yeah, it's not like you sell one tomorrow, right? Job done. It takes a bit of work. Yeah.
And then after that it left us with a decision. So okay, we can either open up to land-based, and then we started doing a few land-based areas like luxury villas and things like that around the area, all in the meantime to keep going on with the yachts until another large contract came in for the yachting. And that's when I stepped in and said, well, there's a lot of boats here already, and none of them can get serviced. None of them have the maintenance or the refit to the European standard that they require and that they want. So there was a perfect niche for the market there. And I already know my guys that they did the interior of Eclipse back in the day. Under another company, so that they've already got the repertoire. They already know what to do. They already know how to do it. They've all spent years in Germany, in the Netherlands, in all the different large ports and all the shipbuilding yards there, building interiors. So they know what to do when they visit a vessel over here.
Yeah.
So we started taking them on. The first year, it was relatively slow. There were only 8 vessels that we did in that entire time, relatively small scopes. But then the first winter, 16 yachts. I was handling just by myself and then the team and trying to manage all of them. And I was like, okay, I'm getting a few grey hairs.
This is insane. Let's get some support. Let's get some team around you.
And that's really when the refit department and the refit and maintenance department, I should say, really kicked off. And then now that kicked off, it keeps our name in the industry. A word of mouth from captain to captain. There's no better advertising.
And you talk a huge amount about the team around you.
Absolutely.
And like today we're here on a Sunday, it's
empty,
deserted, which is perfect for me, like really quiet, good setting, like great. Have no doubt tomorrow it will be all stations are going full. There's nearly 400 people in the company today.
379.
So yeah, I've no doubt you've built that team around you, and the skill sets that are required to really deliver on these projects as Superyacht Interiors is quite difficult to get hold of. We'll get onto some of the types of skills that you need.
Yeah.
But how do you find that talent and really retain it?
Well, with the guys that we've got, one of our best guys, Navaneeth, he's one of our foremen for the carpentry department. He started doing luxury interiors as a junior carpenter when he was 24 back in 1996. He's still with us now.
Yeah.
And he's still building the interiors.
Yeah, the loyalty's right up there.
So the loyalty is right up there because, again, we should make sure that the guys are appreciated, or we do our best to make sure that the guys are appreciated for the work that they do. And then there's another thing that we want to do with sustainability, because unfortunately, we're all getting older. No one's getting any younger. Nightmare. But we want our guys, when they get to an age where they want to retire, we don't just want to say, all right, cool, off you pop.
Right.
We want them to be able to spend some time at home, but then also educate the next generation. Because most of our guys are Indians, and I have no problem. I'm really, really proud of their capabilities and their skills because they're generational carpenters.
Yeah.
Like their great-great-great-grandfathers were carving wood for God knows what palaces for the Maharaja and the Rajput kings back when, who knows when.
Yeah.
So they have that long generational talent, and they get involved in the industry when they're 5, 6. Yeah. And it's great to see now because their kids are studying to become lawyers, studying to become doctors.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, but it's also, okay, now that their kids aren't taking on the family tradition.
We really need that skill set.
We need those skill sets.
Yeah.
So we want to set up an academy in India
where
we can actually welcome people who don't have many opportunities over there.
Right, and say, have you looked at this industry? Look what kind of thing we do. This is the skill set that we need. This is how we use it.
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be a great career and really create that gravity towards the organisation?
But then what we can do is with that academy, our guys who are older and want to retire, they can actually have another 3, 4 years as teachers.
Yeah.
Passing on all of their knowledge.
Probably really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're home. They're home. Yeah. They've got a steady job for the last few years before they go into full retirement and all that.
Yeah.
And then it's just a nice environment as well.
That's really good to see, actually, because I hear a lot about the industry just struggling for, we call it a lack of, what's the word? It's like basically a lack of skill, a lack of fresh talent in the industry.
Yeah.
And for some bizarre reason, we struggle to attract it into this industry because even though we think everybody knows about large yachts and how they work and how to work in the industry, it's actually a very small industry that is relatively quiet compared to these enormous industries like luxury automotive or real estate and all that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And also there's a level of inaccessibility to this industry as well, because I mean,
definitely.
I'm only 27. I mean, I've been in this industry for 9 years now, like nearly 10. And all the time when people have been asking me like, oh, how do you get into that job?
Yeah.
Well, how do you get into that?
Yeah.
How do you get into this? And then it's like, well, it depends on what side you want to get into. There's so many different avenues, so many different facets.
Yeah.
Then there's also so many different requirements that are needed, like whether it's a degree or experience. In my book, experience is always number one over anything else.
Yeah.
Or actual practical skills that can be trained. And then you've got to find a company that's either local to you or you're willing to go over to them. Yeah. And then it just goes.
Yeah, that makes for quite a difficult accessibility for the industry. Yeah, because I mean, you talk about a lot of your workforce from India. Like, how many of them could kind of venture out into Dubai and meet the industry, go to an industry event and find the right employer and then get a job? I mean, that's an enormous risk for employment.
It is, and it's another weird one where there's a lot of turning up of noses in a lot of different parts of the industry as well. Okay. So there have been a few times that I mentioned, oh yeah, our guys are Indian, and they immediately think, they're Indian, therefore you're getting them because they're a cheap workforce. That's not the case.
It's the skill set.
It's the skill set. It's a generational.
Work. Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it.
It's
the generational talent that they're bringing to the table. That's all we've done is transferred that carving of Indian artwork into things for yachts.
Yeah, but position these people in the right environments, and their work, their output is incredible.
And they thrive.
So embrace it, get them into the organisation. Yeah, so that's really good to see. And around us, we have some really nice examples of exactly that, those skills at work. So let's start with this, and then we'll move on to the carving over here. So and explain what this is about. I know you've got an awesome story about it, so tell us.
So what we wanted is something for a handle, something very unique. And then one of our guys was out in the desert, because in Dubai, and they found this piece of, do you call it driftwood if it's in the desert?
I was going to say, a piece of wood. Let's go with driftwood.
Yeah,
why not?
They found this piece of driftwood, and they really, really liked the shape and the feel of it, and the size and the scale. But then we thought, it's too narrow, too brittle.
They're just bits that weren't quite right.
Yeah, we won't be able to directly use this. So how can we take this as a concept and then utilize it? So then we went through a whole different design process, and one of our design coordinators, Nihil, I believe it was, she came up with the idea of, well, 3D scan it, let's 3D print it in like high grade resin, like detailed, one of those, I don't know the technical terms, I don't do all the 3D printing, but then we can give it a bronze anodization.
Right,
and as soon as we scanned it and we had that 3D model, it gave us a whole new degree of accessibility to tweak it, to change it.
Yeah, we can manipulate it to just bring it to that standard that this industry expects. Yeah.
So we thickened it, and then after we 3D printed it, we were able to build in a stainless steel plate on the inside, and then now we can actively use this as a handle or whatever else the client or designer would like to use it for.
Yeah, you can see exactly, like, there's the inspiration. Look at that. It's such a creative thing to do. I love it. It's just, it's one of those things when you're on board many boats and you don't necessarily know the stories behind everything there, but the level of detail and the creative aspects that's behind them to actually get them on board, deliver to the customer, the owner, and really make sure that they're of sentimental value as well as aesthetically beautiful. Yeah. That's something that's quite unique.
And this is something that I absolutely love about every IOC in the interior outfitting contractor in the entirety of the yachting world, because we're not the only ones who have to face unique challenges like this. I know every other one faces the same. And I have conversations with some of the guys from different companies, and then we talk about some of the problems or some of the challenges or some of the different issues that we faced. And it's like, oh no, I never thought about that, and vice versa. And it's really, really nice.
It's problem solving, but it's really
problem solving in such unique instances and situations that you'd never, like 5 years ago, I never thought I'd have to try and think of a solution.
Well, one day you'll have an email that says, I want to design a handle like this, go.
Like, I know exactly how to do that.
And let's go on to the carving here. So what's the background on this?
Yeah, so we completed a project for a client, and then we wanted to give them something unique because they had very much a very Oriental themed project. So we thought, well, what can we do?
What would deliver?
What would deliver? What would be something to give that they'll be like, oh wow, that is unique. So we spoke to one of our expert carvers, a guy called Sassy. He's another generational carver. Like, he just does everything, and he does it so well and so quickly. So we gave him a few concepts, had a few sit-down chats with him, and then he carved us a full-scale, semi-mythological Chinese lion turtle, Oriental-style lion turtle. And if I just pop off the head,
nice feature.
Every single detail, like from the neck scales to the feathers and the fluting on the side, to the eyes, to the nose, to the details on the brow, the ears, everything was hand carved. And now we're taking it a step beyond, because we're even trying out with some wood burning techniques to really give the feathery effect, like really get that impacted, which is actually what Roger, the CEO and my father, he learned back when he was about my age, when he went on a road trip around America.
And he remembers it and goes like, we should try that.
It's like, oh yeah, let's give that a go. Because he's still got all the equipment, like for all the way from nearly 30 years ago now.
But it's these learnings that are just, they're kind of intangible to say, hey, we have this skill set. It's just over such a long period of time thinking in that way and recalling all these experiences makes you positioned to go like, okay, let's do it in this way. Would this work? Try it. Get on the workshop floor and see what it looks like.
Yeah, a lot of it is experimenting. A huge amount of it is experimenting. So when it comes to our paint department is our busiest section. I mean, the factory's divided into 4 bays. That bay is the bay that never sleeps, apart from on a Sunday. But then even in that case, if there's ever a lull in the workflow, if there's ever a few days where the paint guy's like, okay, cool, we've cleared out what we've got here, we're just waiting on carpentry or veneer or the mock-up to hand everything over. It's all right, cool, guys, get back in the lab, experiment.
Right, research and development.
Yeah, constant research and development. Because again, we've got such a harsh climate over here as well, with summers that are, if it's a dry heat, it's like 46, 47 degrees. And then you stick the 80% humidity in there, it makes it feel like it's 56. It's not even exposure to UV, it's just bleaching. It's just consistent
I initially said, well, it's nice and warm, it'll dry quickly, you can move pretty fast, but it can actually interfere the paint and stuff, so it's got to be climate controlled. And
especially going on to what you said about it being too hot and it drying too fast, if one layer cures a little bit too quickly or a little bit too slowly, and then another layer goes on or vice versa, you get like an orange peel effect or a ripple. And if you want to try and have that perfect, almost mirror finish, high gloss on a table or on a wall panel, it needs to be perfect. You can't afford to have those ripples. Otherwise, you have to sand it all the way back again
the standards,
and then continue again and basically start over with the layer that you've messed up on and vice versa. So it can become a really, really time-consuming cost, really, if you don't get it right first time.
And to go a little further into the research and development that Superyacht Interiors does, could you tell us an example with the furniture side and a bit of an example of how you approach those types of projects and what kind of solutions you come up with?
Yeah, so I'll give you a prime example of something that we did recently on a visiting vessel. They had a load of panels that were going horrendously milky.
Okay.
Just from age and temperature exposure and humidity and all of that. So then we went through, and because it was such an intricate parquet, well, not parquet, like a marquetry design, like a veneer marquetry underneath it, we couldn't even risk properly sanding it back. So we had to go through a load of different design concepts and how we can restore the color, get rid of the sections, the layers that are milky, restore the color, get it back to how it is, redo it.
Is that sometimes more difficult than starting from scratch? Because you've got to get an exact match.
It's a tricky one because it is and it isn't. I mean, in terms of the actual process, it's a lot easier.
Okay.
It'll be so much easier to just start from scratch a lot of the time.
Right, yeah.
But in terms of the longevity of the project, it's not. Because if I make a brand new panel, that's going to mellow at a completely different rate than the panels that have already been there for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And even if the color for now...
So on day one looks perfect.
Day one looks perfect.
Let's say 6 months or a year or 2 later, it might be different. Yeah.
It will be. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It will be, because that panel that's on board now, back in the day when that boat was first launched, it was a completely different color.
Yeah.
It was either a hell of a lot brighter, or it really depends on how the paint is mellowed.
Yeah, but the materials or the paint, the finish, whatever, I mean, it's gonna be either a different material or at a different stage of the aging process. So it's hard to match. Yeah.
It is, and it's just one of them where you've really got to balance it out, and you've always got to say, like, this is as close as it can get. Yes, I know the captain was like, oh wow, no, it's perfect. It looks exactly the same. It's like, yes,
it is today.
It does. It is today.
Yeah.
And we've done everything that we can with different paints that we use and with different like varnishes that we use and the different compositions that we do of the 2 parts to mix it in, just to try and make it and give it that longevity. And so far, since 3 years of doing it, we've not had people come back and say, hey, it started to mellow differently. Yeah. So it's actually been
super.
all right.
I mean, all credit to your transparency and like educating the customer, going like, no, this will happen. This will be the reality. Yeah. So just so you know,
Yeah, I mean, I think in the yachting world and in any economy, trust is the most valuable currency. Yeah. You know, like and this is what keeps the vessels coming back. this is what gives the word of mouth of captain wanting to speak to another captain about who they can use.
He sorted me out before. They're brilliant.
He sorted me out.
You
They've
guys should
been
go as well.
open.
Yeah.
They've been transparent. They've just told me the truth.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, a lot of the times you can turn around and say, I can do that, but it's going to be
Here's a reality. Here's a time
take
scale,
a long
all that,
time,
yeah.
or with this material that you want to use is going to have a 12-week lead time because we have to have it custom made by the original company that made it when the boat was first built, and they have to then go into their old archives and dig out and so on and so forth. And a lot of the times the captains and the owners teams turn around and say, oh no, just find something that will just suit.
Right, yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
yeah.
would you rather have your whole vessel like stuck and with a few panels removed, or would you rather get the vessel going again?
Right, yeah.
Particularly if it's a charter vessel.
Yeah.
You know, like time is money.
I was going to say time is money, yeah.
But yeah, it is all about just direct transparency.
Yeah.
Tell the captain, tell the chief steward, tell the chief engineer, just be open and honest. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're all working together on a project. You're all working together for the same goal.
Yeah.
So if you're open, you can come to solutions.
Yeah.
It's always those cases where you say, oh no, it's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
6 months later, if it's not fine,
yeah,
then they're going to come back and then they'll be agitated.
That's not going to be great. Yeah.
And that's not, it's not what
if
you
you're
want.
transparent from the outset, then it's an understanding, it's fine, you kind of move on. Yeah.
But then in situations like that, I always tell the captain, like, well, let's say they want to repaint a load of ceiling panels.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, well, we've got 20 ceiling panels here. I just want you to repaint 2 or 3. And I'm like, okay, well, I can do that. I can get a color match. I come on with all my tech gizmos and gadgets to give you the exact RAL color and the exact, like the lumens level. So, under this light's da-da-da-da-da.
Right, okay, yeah.
And then I said, right, I can repaint these, get them color matched, but the mellowing, it will mellow differently.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that's going to be because that's a matter of time. Or I can repaint all of them. So at the very least, when they do mellow, they mellow the same.
Yeah.
Some captains are, okay, yeah, cool, repaint all of them. Other captains are, well, just repaint these 3 and then...
And that'll do. Yeah.
If it'll do.
Yeah, but it's just an understanding. So talk me a little bit through the process that Superyacht Interiors use for, I suppose from the outset, let's say a refit project.
Yeah.
This facility just behind you. Can you explain how that works? Because detail is king in this space, and getting a detail wrong can be quite a problem.
It can be a bit of a nightmare. It can be a massive nightmare.
Yeah. So how do you approach it? What do you do?
Okay, so let's say we have a full scope refit. And let's say it's based in yacht, because then I can actually talk more about them.
Right, perfect. Go for it.
Let's say a 80-meter yacht says, hey Rob, I want to have a full new refit done.
Yeah.
I want the whole vessel, the whole interior ripped out,
Like
and I want
every
you guys
space
to
inside
stick in
the
a new
whole
one.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, cool. First, do you have a designer? Do you have a designer who's got concepts or renders or what they want and what you want to have in?
Right, that can brief you.
Yeah, that can then brief us on what you want and how we can do it all. And then it goes into the whole design process. Whether they have a designer or not, our design team is always there to support. Our design team is always there to work with them, to get the different concepts and the different renders, turn them into actual working drawings, turn them into the full layout drawings of each individual room. And then we can make our floor plan based upon that.
Awesome.
And then with our floor plan, by the way, this is just presuming that all the contracts and all the back-end paperwork went through.
Yeah, all systems are go.
All systems are go. Then once we've got that, we make 2 floor templates. We have 1 floor template here, which details all your light fixtures, your plug fixtures, where the furniture is going to go based on the drawing that's all been approved.
Yeah, we walked around it earlier. And
I
mean, even just from seeing it, it must be so useful. Like it's like 2-scale floor drawing of what's in each space.
Yeah.
But then also around you can get a feel of, well, how much space? How's this going to feel?
Yeah. And
if there's
is there enough space around this sofa? Is there enough space between the wall, between this, between that? So we do 2 of them. We deliver 1 of them to the vessel. So then we install that first. If there's any changes or alterations, because again, you don't know if the superstructure's there. There are sometimes on the drawings it says, oh, there should be a cable or pipe work here.
It's absolutely not there.
There's nothing there. It's just on the other side of the room where it shouldn't be. And it's like, okay. Yeah. Because these things happen.
Yeah, it's just the reality.
Yeah. So then we can then adjust the floor plan on site and then relay that information back to the factory.
Right, so that then adjusts the one here.
And then we then adjust the one here.
And then you're designing things that will definitely fit.
Yeah, and then we know that everything that we put in is, okay, now we've verified this, it's going to fit.
Yeah. Do clients like that as well? Do they come to site and kind of see mock-ups?
Yeah, every time. So what we do is we call them factory acceptance tests, so FATs, a FAT test. And once we get the room or the area or whatever it is to a certain level of completedness, it's never 100% complete, because obviously we don't want to go through with your high gloss lacquer on absolutely everything.
Right,
and they say, oh, actually, no, I don't like the veneer. Because then we've just wasted all the time and the material, and that just throws us into a
and it might not
spiral.
what it's going to look like at the end anyway. So
So then what we do is we invite them to the factory once we've got a room together with some of the furniture, mostly the fixed furniture. We have separate inspections for the loose furniture, the wall panels, the ceiling panels, the general layout. So then they can walk through in a 1-to-1 scale and see exactly how that room is going to feel. And then also that gives us the opportunity to turn around to designers and say, well, we faced this issue that wasn't mentioned in your drawings, and it's an integration of a corner, or we found this problem where on the drawing it works, but then for the AC plenum box, the gap is a little bit too big and you can see on the inside, and we don't have a design brief of what you want here or there or blah, 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 blah.
Right, so you can talk it through, make sure they understand, brainstorm some themes, some concepts. Here's a little solution. Does that work? Yes, no, go from there. Yeah.
And then that just gives everyone that whole level of transparency and that whole level, I think, assurance.
I bet that's appreciated so much.
It is.
Because I feel like with design work, it's so, a design done well should give you a feeling, right?
Yeah.
And so if this is the leisure industry, none of this is a need, it's a want.
None of it is easy either.
So it must deliver on that front. So to really experience it and have that space around you, I could just imagine a client just be like, right, I get it now. I didn't quite get what you're talking about on the phone. I liked it, but I wasn't quite so sure. And then this can just be like that final mile where they just become really, really comfortable and say, right, okay, I trust them.
This is
love
nice.
the concept, I'm excited about it. And then you can make it happen.
Exactly. And then even going a little bit further, exactly what you said, a good design gives a feeling. To try and take that from a drawing or from a render and to put it into actuality and to take it from just a plan or a sketch into a real, tangible, 3D utilized thing.
Feel it.
Yeah. Like that's difficult. And it's so hard to make sure that there's nothing lost in translation, quite literally, when it comes to that feeling. So this is why we find the mock-ups so useful. And again, because we're based over here, the last thing that we want to do is send something over to Europe. We think it's all done. The client hasn't seen it. The client doesn't like it. The designer's like, oh no, we need to change
something's
that.
wrong.
Something's wrong. This is this, da 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 da. And then we've got to then pay for it to come all the way back.
Delivery costs, delays. Everyone hates delays.
If we ship it, it's 30 days. So in our planning, I wish Abdul was here because he's our planning guru. He has everything marked out to the day.
He's on it.
He's on it. Like he is
He's
on
the
it.
man.
But yeah, it takes about 30 days. And that's if we have no issues with customs, but we always have it, so it's fine. But yeah, and then if we have to do that, that's 30 days there. It's wrong. But we only find out after we've installed it. We then have to dismantle it and then send it back, which is another 60 days with all the dismantling time to make sure everything's there and protected and getting all the permits and all the paperwork in order, etc., and so on and so forth. And then we've got to start it again or do whatever modifications.
Right, yeah. So by having it here, it potentially resolves all those issues. They never actually come up.
Yeah.
And so by the time of delivering, I mean, obviously you can deliver in Europe, but there's just so much more confidence that it will be as per expectations.
Again, it's just the assurance because the client has seen it before or the designer has seen it before and the owner's team have seen it before. Now they can see it again when it's in the boat and they're not hit with any surprise. Everything's like, okay, no, cool. They've added this little bit. That's fantastic. They've changed the paint here because we discussed it on XYZ date.
Yeah.
And it's just confidence, again, assurance for both us and the client.
So I want to move on to kind of the business strategy side.
Yes.
It's quite an interesting position that Superyacht Interiors are in to serve the industry. What are you experiencing at the moment? Is a lot of growth? Is it a tough market? You're seeing differences in different regions? What's happening?
It is quite strange because I mean, over here, the industry is exploding.
As it here, as in
Like
the Middle East, Gulf region, just
Gulf
Dubai,
region,
or
and like the whole, the whole entirety of the Arabian Peninsula.
Okay.
So the Red Sea and the Gulf, it is
Yeah.
exploding. But the thing is, it's exploding in terms of the industrial side, but not in terms of the ecosystem side.
Okay, interesting.
So, like, if you look at Mallorca, Barcelona, Monaco, Nice, Cannes,
They're all really well established. They've
they're really,
had
really
that
well
time to build
established.
the infrastructure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, even further, there's a massive crew community in each one of those zones. I've never met someone who makes a living off day work than when I did, like, ever, until I went to Mallorca, and I met 20 of them in a bar in one night.
Yeah.
Like, so there's such a massive ecosystem that surrounds the yachting industry and supports the yachting industry.
Interesting.
And although there's a lot of big plans to grow and develop that here, which is fantastic to see, and I can't
It's
wait
how
for
you
it
get
to,
there. Yeah.
yeah, and I can't wait for it to be here. But I really hope that the ecosystem itself is able to keep up with that. Because I know for a fact, if we have the what His Excellency said at the conference, the 54,000 berths by 2035,
Yeah.
if
Big
that comes
goal.
to light,
Big goal.
it's a big goal. It's a brilliant goal. I'm here for it. But if that comes to light, and 1% of those vessels, 540 of those vessels, need support in any way, shape, or form,
That's
the
a lot of
ecosystem
distance.
here
Yeah.
isn't quite equipped to handle that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those where the ecosystem needs to expand and develop. And we can easily do that by bringing over a lot of the European experience. Because again, the raw talent is accessible. The generational knowledge of metal work or carpentry work or paint work or upholstery work, these very niche skills that are very much welcome and applied within the super yacht industry, they're all available. Just a short flight if you go a little bit further east, through India, through the Southeast Asia, through Asia Major.
Yeah. There are a lot of essentially from countries that have traditionally manufactured for a long time.
Yeah.
Because we talked before about how long it takes to develop these skills. Those countries, that population hold that skill set.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to attract it in, and of course it ends up local.
Exactly.
But it all takes time.
It does take time. And I think a good way to accelerate that is because, again, raw talent without experience doesn't really mean much.
It needs some kind of guide for it.
It needs some experience and some guidance. And I think that's a perfect opportunity for people in the European sphere to migrate over this way. And then they can actually do more with the accessibility of the raw talent and them and their team's experience to really be able to accelerate and rocket ship propel their industry or their sector of the industry.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you guys have done.
Yeah,
clever. And what kind of relationships are working really well for Superyacht Interiors? Is it directly with shipyards and kind of taking the workload of the interior side? Is it directly the captains? Is it more refit, new build side? What's the
so when it comes to the refit, the new build side, I should say, it's definitely a lot more with the yards themselves. We have very, very positive relations with all the the largest European shipbuilders.
Yeah.
So we have really good relationships with them. Those are all nurtured relationships that people in our company have individually had for decades.
Yeah.
So now that they're with the company, they take time.
But now there's trust there, and you deliver, and it's it's a great place to be.
But then when it comes to the refit angle, and particularly my department of the refit department, it's very much a, hey, I've heard about you from this captain who you did work on their vessel 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Could you come and take a look? Yeah. And there's also a lot of the vessel handlers and the chandlers over here. So you've got like your JLS, your Phoenix yachts, you've got a load of your other like Fraser yachts as well, just to name a few.
Yeah.
They reach out and say, hey, Rob, we've been to your factory. We know what you guys can do. Yeah. I've got this boat that has X, Y, Z. It needs sorting.
It's trust again, isn't it? Once trust there, it's like, we trust them to do it. They'll deliver. That's fine.
And it is really, really refreshing to see, because it is very, especially with the refit side of things and on the smaller jobs, because there's a lot of small jobs, but they always have really, really tight deadlines.
Right. Yeah,
and they're the ones. Yeah, there was one vessel that we completed a few days ago, and then that was 3.5 weeks to reupholster pretty much everything on that boat. And our guys did it. Our guys did it a huge amount.
Fair enough.
We did it.
Fair
But
enough.
it was so down to the wire because it was a huge scope. And again, the captain and the crew were okay to take that risk because I told them at the start, like, I can't guarantee I can get it all done. So whatever I can't get done, I'll return to you untouched, and then I'll just remove that from the price.
Right, yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're not paying for something you're not getting.
Yeah.
But you've at least got that sake for transparency of they're going to do what they can, best endeavors, they're going to do their best to service us. And then if they can get it all done, brilliant. If they can't, we've got 90% of it done and everything that's
a heck of a lot better than someone else trying. Yeah. And so let's have a look to the future. You're positioned really nicely now. What things are your focus today, perhaps the biggest challenges today that you're trying to solve ready for growth over the coming years?
So a lot of, again, this comes back to the ecosystem of the yachts because there's not or too much of an ecosystem here. Getting a lot of the standard materials that you can get in Europe is quite a challenge. So ask any marble or bathroom specialist in the yachting industry if they use auto seal. 90% of them are going to say, yes, you can't go without it.
Okay.
Trying to get that here is so difficult.
Right.
It's so difficult.
So the supply chain struggles.
Yeah. But then that's just an isolated case of.
Yeah, that's one of many, I'm
material.
sure.
It's one of many.
Yeah.
So either I have to individually import it over from Europe, and then I have to go through the whole
the customs
import,
thing, it's international import,
all of that, and they ask questions like, "Why do you need it?" So, well, for a yacht, okay, but why? It's like, well,
okay,
it's
quite hard to
quality.
explain because most people don't understand the industry. Yeah,
it's like you just need it. Yeah, but why? It's like, well, I can't use anything else, otherwise it'll bleed into marble.
Yeah, this is
and
a
then
necessity. Yeah,
it's a whole.
Otherwise it'll bleed into the marble.
Yeah,
you can see why that conversation's quite difficult. Yeah, quite a niche understanding.
It's such a niche problem that we have to overcome.
Yeah.
Or we have to find other suppliers over here, which I've found a fair few, which are fantastic companies, and then they can provide the same.
And this is the ecosystem being built more locally, like it's coming, it's growing.
So then what I'm really trying to do, and I'm not the only one, which is fantastic to know and fantastic to see. I know that JLS, MPE, Golfcraft, all these other companies are doing a lot of the same of what I'm doing, which is, yes.
Yeah, it's that big mission where the big players have to kind of invest in it and be the first movers. Yeah. Otherwise it'll never happen.
Exactly.
But I think out of any region anywhere in the world, and everything I've heard this week throughout the show is it's so incredibly positive.
It is.
It's so but we're growing. We've done this. We've already achieved this. This is what's coming. So let's invest. Let's sort out the bureaucracy. Let's make sure people can move here. Let's attract the wealth. Let's build the marinas. All that kind of thing. It's all just positive investment, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
And in other regions, there's a lot of hesitation, there's very massive, sometimes unnecessary concerns about the risk. And so it's such a positive place to be.
Yeah, it is. I mean, again, when it comes to the concerns and the risks, I fully understand that. Because, I mean, it does break my heart, but I do see a lot of other IOCs and a lot of other companies in Europe having to either downscale because it's just been, ever since COVID,
tough market.
The whole industry's had such a tough market, and it's horrible. It's horrible for all the people who are over there and have to go through that. But then again, this is why it's such a positive market over here. And if we can really encourage that European experience and knowledge and wealth of knowledge to migrate eastwards over here, then not only does it shore up the experience side and the knowledge side of things here to make things more efficient, to make things better, to make companies more capable of growth and capable of handling the massive growth of the yachting industry here.
Yeah, give them confidence as well. Yeah.
But then also it helps alleviate and balance out and distribute the wealth of the entirety of the industry. Because the UAE, and this is something that people don't really talk about too much, or I haven't heard about talking about too much, is it's slap bang in the middle of the old world. Yeah. So all the Asian market, and the Asian market is making a lot of big moves, but there's no connection between the Asian and the European.
There's very few.
But the UAE is that perfect center point between the two, where we can have that passage of transient skills, of transferable skill sets, of employees, of vessels, of financials, etc. that can all happen and be generated from here and connect all the European, the Asian, and the Middle Eastern yachting spheres together.
Yeah, in a pretty beautiful cruising ground, actually.
In an amazing cruising ground.
Yeah, yeah. All right, thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you
Thank you
as
for your
well.
insights. Thanks for coming
Much
on.
appreciated. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Everybody, I hope that's proved insightful to you. Make sure you're following here to see plenty more podcasts like this. All being well, I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.